Okay, so yeah, so good evening, and let's begin our session for today's lab, which pretty much is actually just a briefing for your project. It's really important because the project question is kind of really long, so might be it might be a challenge just trying to understand the question. So okay, you can access all of this under the group project section. So every week there will be a section for this because there's a weekly updates that you need to do. Okay. Here's the project question. If you click on project question, you'll be able to see this. This is where I'm going to brief you guys on what's this project about, how you have to do it, and so on. Okay. And then marking rubric, if you click on that, you'll be able to see this. This is how you get your marks for this project, which I'll also go through it. And the third part would be this, which is Appendix A. When you click Appendix A, this is a checklist of the form, which I'll also be explaining to you guys shortly. Okay, so you can access all of this. And your project is based on the United Nations SDG, or known as Sustainable Development Goals. So if you click on this or this logo, you'll be brought to this page. So this is how things that's going to link to your project. How's your project scope is going to be, will be based on this. Don't worry, I'll be explaining shortly on that. So we'll go one by one. So before that, you guys have the access for the Padlet, right? So Padlet link for those who just joined. Here's a sample of your submission for week 7 and onwards. I'll explain this as well. So yeah, let's keep this on view. So let's begin with project. So when we talk about project, all of you have already done your quiz, both of your quiz, so you already got your 10%. Your assignment, 10%, which is basically tomorrow. For those who haven't submit, please, deadline is tomorrow for December 12:30 p.m. Submit your assignment, contributes 10%, so 20% is already there. Next week on Wednesday, 9th of December, you'll be having your hands-on test. Your first test where you get a question and you have 2 hours to settle it. So this is something that you guys will learn to practice. I'm not sure if you have any hands-on tests that you've already taken for other subjects, like problem solving and so on. It's somewhere around this week, right? Most of your hands-on tests, guys?
Yep.
Yeah, so I believe you will start to familiarize with hands-on test, which basically you did online and you submit it. Okay, so your hands-on test is next week. It contributes 20%. Okay, your project. Okay, here's the thing about this course, because we don't have final exam. This subject doesn't have final exam. So basically, your final exam 40 marks is straight on your project. So the project that you're doing is basically your final exam. It's 40%. But of course, for final exam is something that you do it in 3 hours and so on. For this project, you will start at this week, week 7, and you have it up to week 13. So it's a continuous week 7 to week 13 for your project. Okay, so it will contribute 40%. So let's take a look. Once you click on the project question, you'll be able to see this. Okay, let me explain to you. This project starts from week 7 to week 13 because it's 40% in total, which is 20% for planning, 20% for implementation, and 10% for team working. So it's 10, 20, 10, which makes up 40. So these are the activities or the planning that you need to follow and execute. Okay. I will explain to you first on the week and the activity. So please ignore the submission first. The submission I will discuss right after the activities. So let's talk about the week and the activities, okay? So we'll start with that first. So your project starts on week 7, which is right now, week 7, and it will go up to week 13. So week 13 will be the one that you finally submit your project. All right. So the breakdown is week 7, 8, then 9 to 11, 12, and 13. If I'm fast, yeah, please slow me down or let me know. And meanwhile, while I'm presenting, if you have questions, yep, just type in your questions here. Or if you want to stop me, yeah, please turn on your mic and then, yeah, ask me questions. Okay, first, week 7 is called preliminary stage. This will be the stage where I give you time to select because at this moment in this group chat, in this online video, trying to find your friend, I've already selected randomly your groups, your team members, and the leader. Okay, I'll share the list in a while. It's already been done, so you don't have to worry that. So your task is basically group formation. I already created for you the group. So you'll have a group of 4 or 3, it depends. Okay, so your task first, the group leader will create a WhatsApp group and add all the group members into the group. So every group, every team will have a WhatsApp group for discussion. All right. So of course, the task is to vote for a leader. So you don't have to do it because I already randomly select the leader. So every group have a leader. Okay. So your task for this week is you need to discuss with your team members, not now, later on after I complete the briefing. Okay. And you need to assign and fill up this Appendix A. Okay. So what's Appendix A? Let's take a look. Checklist form. So it's a form. So this form consists of 17 criteria or 17 listings of contents that you need to do. And there will be a person in charge. Okay, one group have to only do and fill up one of this checklist form. This Appendix A is to be filled up by the project leader. Okay, but of course, this task please discuss in your group with your team members before you send up this form. Okay, so let's take a look. Contents, we have 17. I'll explain each of these in a while. What's the column for person in charge and comply? Okay, person in charge. Okay, let's take an example. You have a group and there's person A, person B, person C, person D, 4 person. Okay, one person will be the group leader. So assume person A. Okay, so person A is the one that will be signing in this form, okay, and providing the title and so on. Okay, person A, group leader. So we have person A, person B, person C, person D. In here, you need to assign, which is not the group leader assign, it's a discussion. All of you all, person A to D, have to sit down a group and discuss who wants to be the person in charge or the one who will be responsible for the contents. Okay, so you can put it, if you want to put random, person A, B, C, D, and then A, B, C, D, and you can just repeat A, B, C, D, and then A, B, C, D. Okay, if you want it like that. But I believe some of you guys prefer to select on your own. So put in who is the person in charge. So it can be like person C on front page, then person D here, and then maybe these 2 person C, then person B might be all of these, or maybe person B do flowchart. Okay, that's up to you. So I won't comment on that. Okay, now you might have a question. Yeah, same time I ask question for you guys also. You might have a question that does this mean that does this mean that if say person A is in charge of front page and formatting, does it mean that person A have to do everything on that? No. Person in charge is the one that do the compilation, which means let's take an example. Person C is the person in charge for flowchart. Okay, maybe the flowchart, person A is doing the flowchart on the first part. Person B is doing the flowchart on the second part. But the PIC or the person in charge is person C. So person A and person B's flowchart will be combined, compiled, and person C will have to make sure that it's complete. So when we talk about person in charge is the person that need to make sure that this content flowchart is complete. So you can ask person A to do that. to do, you can ask person B to do, or person D to do. Okay, so to make it short, whoever name list is in here is they are responsible to make sure that this content is fulfilled, which means if in the report there's a problem on, say, information on stakeholder, the person in charge should be able to make sure they get all the information required to make sure that content is complete. So they are the person who in charge for that section. All right. So this one is up to you. Discuss with your team and come up with a list. So here will be the name of the person in charge. So person A, B, C, D, put in the name. Who's in charge for which part? All right. Comply, tick if exists. This is where you will do it on your week 13. When you want to submit this form with your report, that's where you will use this checklist form to check your report. Do you have the table of contents? Does the project background is there? Have you mentioned all the tools and software? So you will tick at that time. Okay. So this is the part for week 13. Here is what you have to do it on this week. You have to come up with the person in charge. All right. So before I go in straight to the project question, okay, let me just explain first then what's the meaning of this. Front page and formatting is basically the front page, which has the title, the name, the group members, group leaders information. Formatting is basically the entire formatting of the report, indentation, all those formatting related. Okay, that's what meant by this. Table of contents, something that you guys know. It's TOC, table of contents, for you to see down, list down and click and access to the link of the topics or section. Project background. Okay, this is about the case study, which means what issues are you going to solve? What are the problems that you have determined that you want to solve? What's your app that you're building? What's your solution? And are you fulfilling the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG? Okay, all of that I'll explain later on. Okay. Tools and software, this is basically what tools and what software are you using during this project. Okay. When you do your video recording, whatever tools you use, mention the tools and why do you select the tools. Since this project is about developing an app, you can use Thunkable, you can use Appy Builder, you can use any sort of tools and platform that's available. So this is where you have to mention. If you decided to pick Appy Builder, put in the information, the tools that you're using for your app development is Appy Builder because of what? Yeah, so tools software is basically on all the tools that you're using. Okay. On technical design, flowchart is basically the flowchart, not on the project flowchart, but it's the flowchart for your app. Something like in your problem solving when you design a flowchart. This is a flowchart of your app. That means how your app from the beginning until the ending. Okay, it's in a flowchart form. All right. Graphical user interface. This is for the GUI, which is it's a storyboard of what are the interface that you have, how does it link, and so on. I'll explain that in a while because you have to take a look at your weekly activities because GUI is somewhere around here. I'll explain in a while, so don't worry. Okay, so GUI is related to that. Block diagram. This is about all your block-based programming, the one that you find in your not on the design section of the Thunkable. Okay, it's on the codes on the block side. So this is related to that. Record information storage. This is basically, to make it simple, is database. But because we are not implementing, I would say, complex database, so any information storage, any data storage, variable storage, all those things falls under record and information storage. Stakeholder profile. Guys, if you guys have questions, yeah, please type or stop me. Okay, stakeholder profile. What is stakeholder means? Okay, stakeholder, to keep it short, it means users or client. Because when you design or develop your app have a target stakeholder, which means target users and client. If you're doing an education app, you know your stakeholders are basically students and also lecturers or teachers. If you're doing an environmental app, then you know the users are basically what environmentalists or normal users, So stakeholder is basically related to the users or client. Okay. Value proposition. Okay, value proposition is about what's the specialty or interesting, amazing features of your app. Because this project is you're going to develop an app. So the value proposition is the value of your app. Why do you think your app is good, interesting? Why is it something that people need to use? Okay, so all those why, yeah, that you answer, you put it on your value proposition. Okay, to make it sum is basically the features. What are the benefit of your app? Okay. Cost of production and price suggestion. Okay, this is basically related to cost of production is basically how much do you think it costs for your team, which is the leader and the team members, your team, to develop this app. How much do you think it will cost in monetary, which means in money value? If example, you decide to say yourself, okay, I'm developing the app 1 week as a software developer, you need to pay me 5,000 ringgit. So when I work from week 7 to, I don't know, development is on week 9 to 11. So the 3 weeks, 15K just for one member. So those are things that your creativity, how much do you think to produce the app that for your project? You can come up with your own crazy ideas and price. Price suggestion is basically how much do you think you want to charge. There were students from previous section that asked me, is it possible that if they want to do the app for free? Can. So your price suggestion is you can put RM0. But if you want to sell it, please come up with a price, which means how much do you think that do you want to charge? You can do something like maybe your production cost is like 20,000 ringgit to develop the app. Of course, you can't sell your app like every buyer 20,000. No, it doesn't work like that. So price suggestion is basically how much you can return, which if you take a look like Netflix, Spotify, they charge you like what, 14 ringgit 90 cents or 13 ringgit 90 cents per month. So if you have 100 user, each week is 14 ringgit, 1 month is 60 ringgit. So 100 user is like what, 60K in a month you get. So price suggestion is depends on you. You can either make it like subscription. If you think your app is like a one-off, maybe like 390 you buy and forever lifetime access. It's up to you. Okay. So this is related to that. References is basically what are the apps that you compare from where, any documents, like the Sustainable Development Goals SDG, those links, whatever you refer to, please put it in your references. Okay. And then Appendix A, which is the report completion checklist, which is this appendix. Okay. Appendix B is the weekly reports, which I will show you in a while. What's your weekly reports? Okay. Appendix C is individual presentation link and write-up. Okay, this is related to your video that you're going to record individually. Okay. Here's something that I need you guys to know. This project, even though it's a group project, you have 4 team members to do the project, but your marks will be individual. You are doing a group project together, but your marks might not be the same because there is an evaluation for your personality and how you interact, not just the personality, I mean your contribution to the group. So you'll have different marks. We can look at the rubric later. All right. So Appendix D is miscellaneous. Miscellaneous means it's others. Is there any other extra things that you want to include in your report? You put it in Appendix D. If you don't have it, it's fine. You can remove it. All right. So this is the contents information for Appendix A, which is the checklist. Okay, if you guys have no questions on that. So let's go back to the activities. Ignore this first. This thing, please ignore first, the Padlet and Kalam. Let's look at activities. So coming back to your project activities for this week. So you're going to, since the project leader is going to create the group add the project member, this Appendix A checklist form, fill this up. Okay, that's your task, fill this up. And then your second thing for this week is you will do your discussion to determine the title of your project. This project title is totally depending on your group, your discussion, your decision. I will give an example later, example of title. Okay, so you have to come up with your title. You have to select one of the Sustainable Development Goal, or short form SDG, from the United Nations, which is, for example, okay, which will bring you to this. So your task for this week, come up with the title of the project, select one, only one SDG. There are 17 under the SDG list of United Nations. There are 17, which is from no poverty, hunger, health issue, education, gender equality, clean water, energy, and so on, until, yeah, partnerships for goals. So there are 17 goals. Okay, you have to select one only. Okay, only one. If you want information about this, yeah, click on the more info, or you can read this instruction here. It tells you about what's the goal about. So let's take example for this briefing. I'm going to pick up education. So I decide to pick the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is related to quality education. So when I pick this, what does it mean? It needs to do about quality education and promote lifelong learning. Okay, so my project title is going to be related to this outcome or this goal. Okay, so your team have to sit down, pick one goal. Okay, once you have picked the goal, okay, my example is I pick education. So what I'm going to do, in the team members, you guys need to go to, if you're using Android, go to Google Play Store. If you're using Apple iOS, go to App Store. You have to select 3 similar apps related to the goal that you have selected. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Suggestion. You can pick the apps first and then select your goal, or pick the goal first and select the app. It's fine, but make sure it links. Okay. So in my case, because I decided to go for quality education, my apps that I'm going to compare, 3 similar apps, has to be related to education. So this is where I will show you example. So if you take a look at this Padlet, I decided to choose this title, Smart Education and E-Learning App. So what I'm going to do is, my title, my project title is Smart Education and E-Learning App. Okay, but my app doesn't have to have this title. That means the name of my app doesn't have to equal to my title. The title is a project title. My app, I can name it e-study. So my app name is e-study, but my project title is Smart Education, which is an e-learning app. Okay. So when I pick that app, that title, okay, I'm focusing e-learning, which is about lifelong learning. Okay. So the idea is to give learning opportunities to all. So the app that I'm developing is to solve issues related to people need to learn, but they got no materials, they got no books, they got no access to other place. So the app allows you to do e-learning, which is digital learning. Okay. So when I decide to pick SDG goal 4, and this is my title, when I'm going to compare, when I pick 3 similar apps, I have to pick apps related to the e-learning, because I decided to do e-learning. So what are the apps I can do? One is Kalam. Kalam is under Moodle, so they have app. Okay. I can look at Coursera. I can look at a few other platform that has e-learning. Okay. So that will be my comparison. So for your case, you have to pick 3 similar apps, and you have to sit down in a team and decide, review the apps, find out what's the pros and cons, which is advantage and disadvantage. Do your listing. Okay. So now, based on my example, my example is I'm using the, I decided to do the Smart Education and e-learning app. That's my project title. My app name will be e-study. Okay. So the apps that I'm going to pick from the Play Store is basically the Moodle, Coursera, and few other apps. Okay. So when I study these apps, I'll find the benefit and the disadvantage. Okay. From there, the advantage is something that I want to do. So I will make sure I'll implement that in my app. Okay. The cons or the disadvantage, maybe this app is very complicated. This app is also complex. So you found out that the disadvantage of the apps are basically what? It's too complex. So I want to solve it by making it simplified. So I want my app to be simple, easy to use. Okay. So when I come up with that, remember it's a team. So you come up with your team, then you design the flowchart. You can use Microsoft Word, you can use PowerPoint, you can use Visio, you can use Draw.io, what else? A lot of apps you can use, but I would suggest you to stick with the app that you learn in your problem solving. Raptor, I don't know, there's few tools that we can use for flowchart. So stick with the one that you're familiar with. So you will design a flowchart of your app, not your project, flowchart of your app. How do you want your app to work from starting to ending, okay, in a flowchart? So this will be your task for week 7, which is this week. So whatever I explained to you so far, all these are things that you have to do, your group have to do, okay? Submission, hold on, put it aside. Let me go through all the activities. So that's your task. Once you do this, okay, submission I'll explain on the Padlet later on. Okay, on your week 8, which is your next week, things you're going to do is your planning stage. This is where based on the SDG. Okay, remember my example? I decided to do a smart e-learning app. My app name is eStudy. 3 similar apps that I'm going to search is what? Moodle Kalam, Coursera, and few other things. Okay. So these are my comparison. Okay, now my goal is SDG goal 4, which is quality education. So based on that, okay. So when I come here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss. This is where you do the background of your project, which is you mentioned what's your problem, what's the problem that you want to solve, which is lifelong learning, which is you want an app. Just an example, you want an app that allow people to study or learn electronically. So that's a problem. So the solution is you are designing the e-study app, and that's why you propose the project title, and you are fulfilling the SDG goal 4. So those information, why you do the app, what's the app for, what's the problem, what's the case study, what's the issues, all that you will be doing it in your discussion for the background, which you have to do in your report. Okay. Once you settle number 1, after you have done that, that's where you'll move to number 2. Remember this week, whatever flowchart that you design, after you do your project background, then you'll notice that, oh no, this app's supposed to have some extra things. So any changes that you want to do on your app, you have to modify your flowchart. So if there's a modification, yeah, please modify your flowchart. Okay. So that's the second things on your activities for next week. Once you have done that, then you and your team need to decide, okay, since I want to do this app, eStudy, my app name is eStudy. It's an, what's the name, title? Smart Education and e-learning app, okay. Do I want the app to be only for Android user or iOS user or both? If I decide to do it for both, then I have to pick a platform that I can easily export to both. So Thunkable is one of it. So then you decide, okay, let's stick with Thunkable. If you think you want to go, no, I just want to target Android user, I don't care about Apple user, fine. You can go MIT App Inventor, App Builder, and other things. If you're going for, there's some other Ionic and few other things, but please explore. If you think, no, all these tools are very simple, I want advanced, then you can use Android Studio. You can use so many other platforms. But my suggestion, don't make things complicated. So stick with the tools that you know, that you are familiar with. Okay. So you decide on that. Once you have decided what tools you want to use, this is where you will start discussing with your team on the GUI. Okay. Coming to GUI, you can use Figma. Okay, it's in week 8 under group project. This is the tool. Figma to design your GUI. You can watch this video on how to get started with Figma. Okay, so you have to design your GUI, which is it's not the app's GUI, it's the, what we call it, storyboard, kind of storyboard like. Here's the requirement for your project. Minimum interface, 2 separate pages, maximum 5. So at least you know that when you click the button, it can go to at least 5 interface or 5 pages, okay? But this is the requirement. Minimum 2, maximum 5. But if you think you can make your apps really cool, really good, with a lot of functionalities, if you go more than 5, it's fine, okay? You might get extra mark, okay? But minimum, please comply this. So use the tool Figma to design your GUI. This is something you will do it next week, okay? Once you complete number 4, number 5, you discuss in your team for week 8 activity, who's your stakeholder? Remember the time I mentioned, your stakeholder is basically your users, your client. So you discuss, if I'm doing an education app, which is e-study, my users are basically teachers, lecturers, and students. Definitely not sales girls or McDonald's staff. No, they don't need this app. So that is where you discuss who's your stakeholder, because their opinion matters. All right. So once you've done that, you and your team need to predict how much you will sell. Because once you already have your flow chart, you already have your design, you already decide what you want to do, what issues you want to solve, you already know. You already come up with your GUI of interface. So you know exactly, okay, my app is going to look like this. So try to discuss with your team members, do you think you want to give the app for free, or do you want to have some certain charges? So if you think you're going to charge, okay, how much you want to sell? Is it like a one-time, you buy once 390 or 590 and then forever the app is free? Or is it like Netflix, Spotify and so on, which you have monthly subscription and so on? And which platform do you want to deploy your app? Okay, so that's the activities for week 8, which is next week. Okay, once you have completed that, you guys have questions? All right, no. So once you completed that, you will go to week 9 to week 11, which is the development stage. Okay, you have 3 weeks. Your team need to develop your app. So based on week 7, which you do your comparison study, week 8, you come up with your design. Week 9, you start developing your app. If there's in between anything that you want to change, maybe during your development, you realize that, oh, no, this interface is not good. We don't need this page. Any changes, you can change back your flowchart and you can change back your design, but you have to discuss with your team members, okay? So any discussion that you do during your week 7 to week 13, either the WhatsApp group chat, emails, online Google Meet, or let's see, Microsoft Teams, Cisco WebEx, whatever platform you use, please record and keep it, because you'll be using that for your reporting. Okay. So week 9 to week 11, development, fully on, you are developing your app. Okay, you have 3 weeks to develop the app. All right. So once you finish that, on week 12, you will do reporting. So here, the leader needs to assign tasks for each member to write the part or subsection. You can either stick with this, or this are the person in charge, but there can be some other person to do the part. Okay, so it's up to the group leader and also the team members. Okay, you have to assign your task for every members to contribute to the report. Okay, so for your report, yeah, please, once you've completed your report, I believe most of you guys will use Microsoft Word. I don't think anyone uses WordPad or any other productivity software. I'm not sure if you guys use in Linux and whatsoever. Please use the existing, like Microsoft Word, you have spelling and grammar check. Please use it. If you don't have it, look for Grammarly or Ginger or any other, etc. Okay. So this part on your week 12 is your reporting. You start doing your report. And then you will start to record your presentation. Okay, there are two things. First, you need to record a video, a group video submission, one video for the entire group on how the app works. Okay, I need to explain because there is difference between these. App demonstration and app works is different. Okay, app demonstration is a demo. You can launch your app. Okay, assume Tankable. You can launch your app and you can do screen recording on your mobile phone and show how the app works. Okay, that is basically app demo, which you do a demo for your app. Okay, app works doesn't have to be this. App works can be in a PowerPoint. It can be animation. If you're creative, you can do animation to show that how your app will actually work. What are the things can do? If I'm doing e-study, I can click my profile, I can view subjects, I can choose the course I want to take, and I can read, I can upload videos. So those are the things that the apps can do. So I can do animation or by PowerPoint to show that how the app works. So this is what you have to do as a group. One group, just one video on how the app works. Okay. Second, you have to make a video. This is individual video. Yes, where I want to stress again, this project, of course, is done by group, but assessment or your marks is individual. So that is why you have a video individually. So every group members need to take a video and submit in terms of summary. What have you done during this week 7 to 13? Okay, so you have to submit that. About that, I'll explain in a while. Okay, let's look at activities only. Ignore the two columns on the right. So far, so won't screenshot do for the discussion proof. Yeah, it's fine. If you guys think that audio recording is going to be too long, yeah, you can do screenshot of chat. But later I explain it on your submission requirement. What are things you need to submit? It requires video. For that, I'll explain a while. So yeah, screenshot will be fine. We can install Grammarly for Microsoft. Yes, you can, because okay, here's the thing. I have my own Grammarly account. So yeah, you can install Grammarly so that, yep. So yeah, you can install Grammarly, okay, to check all these things. But just go for the free one. Don't go for the paid one because yeah, paid you get a lot of things, but it's expensive. So yeah, you can install Grammarly, okay. Big brain. Why am I not? So so that's the thing. Where am I? Okay. So you'll have an individual video that requires you to explain what your task and everything. So week 12 is on reporting videos, presentation. All right. Finally, when you reach week 13, your activities is basically to compile all your work in a report. Project leader, please take note, you are the one who will be submitting the report on behalf of your team. Okay, project leader only. So make sure your team compiles everything, distribute the task, but project leader have to check everything and then submit. Okay, so in your report, you need your front page. Content is basically based on the project description, which I will explain in a while. Okay, references, all the information where you get the information, the screenshots, videos, all your apps that you selected, all references has to be included. Appendix A, the checklist that I showed us now. Appendix B, weekly reports. Okay, weekly reports are basically you can compile starting from week 7 in column, you will submit a PDF report. So you can compile all these weekly reports. Okay, just use back the same weekly reports, put it in Appendix B. So Appendix B will be your weekly reports. Okay, Appendix C will be individual presentation link and write-up. Okay, this is where when you do on week 12, your video, your individual video, those are the things you will put in the Appendix C. Okay, Appendix C, Appendix D is basically miscellaneous or others. If you have anything extra that you want to include in your project, go ahead, put it on your Appendix D. Okay, so submission of your report, your final submission is just one, your final submission is just one PDF file. I don't want separate files. So project leader have to make sure that you compile everything, it fulfills all the requirement, one PDF file. Okay, so those are your activities for your project. Week 7 now until week 13. Okay, so before I move into your submission, I would like to ask, anybody have any question regarding the weekly activities? Do you have any questions that you want to ask, or something that you're confused or not sure on what I've explained on your activities? So those are the activities. Okay, now let's take a look on submission. Okay, every week you have submission. Okay, there's two. One is on Padlet, one is on Kalam. You have to submit on both, but it's not the same. Okay, Padlet submission. When you go to Kalam, you can, oh, sorry, it's hidden. So you can click on this link. I will use the same link for all the weeks from week 7 to week 13. Wait. Is there anything hidden? No. Okay, all shown. So your Padlet submission is on this link, which will open to this. And for week 7, your submission is here. I will show in a while. Week 8, I will add. So don't worry. Week 8 is on the planning stage. So I will add in here, okay, later on. So every column will have a week 7, 8, 9 to 11, 12, and 13, okay? So your Padlet submission are basically on here. You have to add a plus sign and you have to submit. Okay, what you have to submit, I'll show in a while. So this is your Padlet submission, things you have to submit. Okay, Kalam submission is basically, I will open a slot here every week for your project submission based on this week, week 7, 8, and so on. Okay, so you have two submission to do. Okay, what do you need to submit? Okay, let's take a look on what do you need to submit. For week 7, this week, you need to submit your project title, your group section, your leader name and members ID. This is already, I'll show you in a while, your list, okay? And then you need to meet up online, do a recording, and put it on any site, Vimeo or YouTube or any other video sites, doesn't matter. Put it there and you have to share the link in Padlet. Okay, so for week 7, here's an example. This is what I did. You can copy exactly this. You can copy this template. Okay. Every group, doesn't matter, the project leader or the group members, only one person have to update here. One group, one post. So you click the post plus button, put in your title, say, what was this now? E-learning app, right? But let me change that. E-study and app for online learning. Put in your title here, okay? Paste the template from above. Copy paste your title in this title section. Put in your name, whoever the leader is, put in your name, put in your ID, and then your group members. Yeah, put in everything. Okay, so once you've done that, you will fulfill this part, submission of this. Now, example like now, I'm doing this online one and I have a link. Once I complete this, I upload this in YouTube. So this discussion video link, I will copy. Actually, yes, the sample actually, just to show you guys. So once you put it on your, put it on YouTube or any other place, okay? Click the share button, copy the link. Once you've copied the link, go to the Padlet, For your group, this is your group, click on this link and paste the link. So each group will have this one submission here, which consists of title, group section, names, and the video. So this will be your this week submission, all right, which is here under week 7. So each group will have one submission for Padlet, okay? That is for Padlet, all right? Second, in column, okay, whatever you did today, I mean for this week, your pictures, your videos, your screenshots, whatsoever, make it into a PDF report and submit in column. Oh yeah, sorry, I haven't opened mine. So that'll be for your section, okay? So that one is something that you submit in column, okay? Here's the thing. Padlet submission, anybody can do it, but one group, one submission. Column submission, only the group leader needs to submit. Of course, the work can be done by someone else, but I only want the group leader to submit column because I will follow the name throughout week 7 to week 13. Okay, so only group leader have to submit for column. So for week 7, this is your Padlet submission, this is your column submission. Okay, move on to next week. So next week, what you have to do is you have to do a online discussion. Okay, post it on the website, on YouTube or whatsoever. Your discussion, which is related to your planning stage, all of this. Okay, if you think you don't want to use Google Meet, it's too heavy, you don't want to turn on your video or whatsoever, you can use the WhatsApp group call. Once your leader create a group, yeah, you can use the button to call all the group members and have a chat, okay? But it's recommended because the marks is basically on video, so please try to get video recording, okay? So this is what for week 8 you will submit under week 8 in this column, okay? So you will submit your video, and then the project leader or the group leader will submit the PDF report related only to week 8. Do not combine. This PDF report is for week 7's activity, number 1 and number 2. Okay. On week 8, this PDF report is related to number 1 to number 6 on planning stage. Only the group leader have to submit. Okay. And then week 9 to week 11, 9, 10, 11, 3 weeks is basically your development stage. So you don't need any videos here to submit, but keep this information because you need this video recording and your chat in your report. So the group leader have to submit in column from week 9 to 11, just one report related to the development stage. Okay. Is there any format? No, it's a free format. So just Google for template format, just use whatever report format that you think you like. Use the same format throughout your project development from week 7 to week 13, okay? When you come to week 12 on reporting and presentation, for Padlet, you have to do a group presentation, like I mentioned just now, demo on the app, which means you run the app, you demo the app. You can record maybe one person voice, or if you want your entire team to explain, it's fine, okay? You need to have a group one video on the application demo and submit it in Padlet. That will be under week 12. Yep, you'll be under week 12, okay? This is only one video for one group, okay? But in column, it's different. Remember, I told that you have to do an individual video. So in column for week 12, each group member have to upload their own video. It's an individual video that explain your role, what you do while completing this project. Of course, if you add caption to your video, you get some bonus marks, okay? So your submission is basically a video link and a write-up of PDF, okay? So you can put the video link in the PDF. And for week 12, every member have to submit in column. Week 7 to week 11 is basically project leader. Week 13 also project leader, but for week 12, every member have to submit their own video. All right, that's for in column. Do you guys have any questions? So those are the things. Week 12, week 13. Okay, this is the final. For Padlet. Okay, week 7, 8, 9 to 11, 12, Padlet. Week 13 in Padlet. What you have to do is basically just post a comment. I will create a post here. You just have to put a comment, put in your name, group leader only, group leader only. Put in your ID, okay, and put there submitted. Once you have submitted in column, yep, just leave this comment. Okay, that's for week 13. Project leader, post a comment in Padlet because I want to check whether you already submitted or not. Because if you don't post here, I assume if in column it's not there, I assume you didn't submit. Okay, and then only the project leader have to submit one PDF file, which is the complete report, okay, of your entire project. So guys, that's all for the weekly activities. Do you guys have any question? Sorry, I'm a little fast because I don't want to take too much of you guys' time. Do you have questions? So those are your weekly activities from week 7 to week 13, what you have to submit in Padlet and what you have to submit in column. Every week, I will have a session online that you guys can ask questions, okay? So, and yeah, don't worry. I know that you guys have so many other subjects. That is why, because I teach a lot of subject too. So that is why maybe from next week onwards, we might not have too much exercise. We might use the lecture or lab session for you guys to focus on your project. Okay, because that's the time that I think all of you all are free during my class time. So you can focus on your project, okay? So these are the activities you have to do. And now let's take a look on your project information. So what's the project about? So for this, I believe you guys are clear, right? In terms of Padlet, don't worry about this. I will update this. Just worry about your week 7. This is what you have to submit, okay? The goals are here. So project description. I already explained this, 10, 20, 10, 40% total. Instruction, I already informed, 3 to 4 group. I will show you guys your group members list. So you have to find a local problem and then solve it. Same as I mentioned just now. A problem related to online learning. So I propose a e-study app, an online e-learning application. So I'm going to develop using Thunkable, all those things. So those are the information that you need to put in based on the activities. So here's an example of case study. Okay, like me just now, I use SDG 4, right? So let's take a look. What about SDG 11? The problems or issues are related to this, which is a student need to use smart transportation app, something like e-hailing, Grab, Uber is no longer there, already bought, Maxim, few other things, okay? So if you're talking about e-hailing, you are solving issues related to this, and you're developing an e-hailing app, and what is it going to fulfill? SDG goal number 11, which is sustainable cities and communities. It's related with transportation. So here's an example of case study. You can take a look, but you're not allowed to do this. A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D. Okay, I don't want to see anyone using this case study. This case study is example, so you cannot use. So you have to find out some other things. Discuss with your group members. Okay, and then your group project is basically you create an application based on the problem and based on the comparison that you do on your week 7. The 3 apps that you're going to compare, the similar apps. Based on that, propose your app on your flowchart, design it on your week 8, which is next week, and start your development on week 9 to week 11. So you will be creating your app based on the 17, either one of the 17 SDG. Okay. Your final report, like I mentioned just now, it has to have the title, the members, the background, It is similar. You can check on the checklist. What else? What are the tools, software you're using? Your flowchart, your block programming, your database. Do you have any database that you want to store? Your GUI, okay, those things. Who's your user or client, your stakeholder, your value proposition. I did explain here earlier. What are the specialty benefit or coolness of your app that you think people should use? That goes on your value proposition. Total cost of your software in monetary value, which means in ringgit Malaysia, how much, and how much do you want to sell it? Is it free, and etc. Okay, all of these things you can read yourself. Please keep in mind, I also will check your project. If it's already a tankable project that's already in the forum, or from some database or from some website, the moment I find it, you get 0 marks. Your entire teams get 0 marks. So yeah, please do not plagiarize some online projects. Okay. What else? Okay, here's the most important. This happens to student all the time. Tankable is okay because you use web browser. If your browser, example like your friend, your hard disk crash. If your PC crash, Tankable save it in cloud, so it's fine. But your project reports, your documents, your recording, try not to keep it on your local hard disk. Use Google Drive, Dropbox. What else? So many other web file sharing site. Please back up there, because if you give a reason at the end of the semester when you try to submit, you say, sorry sir, my files got corrupted, my project got deleted, I won't accept the reason. So you get a 0 mark. So please keep it a backup. Okay. So that's all for the briefing of your project. Please ask me if you have any question, guys. I'm worried when you guys are quiet, no question. If you have questions, yeah, please ask for project. This is your checklist form, which you can discuss with your team members. And yes, a rubric. Okay. Before I go. Okay. So that's about the activities and your submission. Okay. So you can read more on details on here. Okay. This is your appendix file. And let's take a look at the rubric. So for the rubric marks, you have 10, 20, 10, 10%, 20%, 10%. And the marks for the project is 100 marks. So it's a 25 plus 50 plus 25. So 100 marks in total. So you can read it yourself. This is how you get your marks. 25 marks for learning outcome 1, 50 marks for learning outcome 2, and of course 25 marks for learning outcome 3. So these are basically will contribute to your individual marks as well. Okay, so this is a rubric. I won't go in detail. This is how you get your marks. Please read it. If you have question, yeah, you can ask me. All right. So right now, yeah, for C11. So project question is available. Marking guide is available. Rubric is there, and appendix is there. Yeah, better submission is there for you guys. Okay, nothing is missing. All right, so coming to the best part. Okay, we have already completed project question, appendix, and rubric, including Padlet, what you have to submit, and some description on the goals.